Okay, you guys. So we could see kind of from the intro of the video, basically what we're up to today. The drop spindles come in, so we're going ahead and install those, and it'll help with cutting the fire, the firewall, finishing everything. Make sure I got plenty of clearance before I add my metal back in, because we don't want no weld it all together, run the wheels on it. You know, you always want to test fit with your wheels, so that's what we're doing today. I've already did the passenger side. We will be doing this side right now. We're gonna put the drop spindle on here, take the stock drop spindle off, and put it to the side. And all right, let's get to it. As we can see here, I've already removed the caliper. Just set it off to the side. Now we're going to be removing the bracket, and that's pretty easy. Just remove the bolts, and then bam, there you go. Simple as that. But on these disc brakes, you can see these evidently never been changed from the previous owner. I bought this, so you can see they got these little locks on there. They're kind of sometimes a pain to get off, but sometimes they come right off. So now we're going to get to those, and we're going to take those off. Okay, so now I've removed those. They're off of there. You can do it with basic tools like a flathead screwdriver. Use a hammer, give a little tap, get behind them. Use it if you can bend them out a little bit. They're not all of that big. I mean, they're pretty paper thin. And then you can get a pair of pliers on them, and you can get a hold of them once you get the screwdriver to bend it out, and give them a little twist. They pop right off there. So now we're going to remove the disc. You give it a little tap on the back with a hammer, because it's been on there ever since evidently new. Okay, so we got the disc off. It was a little hard to get off. It was seized pretty good. I was like, I wonder why it's giving me so much trouble to come off of the hub. So then I removed the bolts from the hub. There's three. One here, kind of like a triangle, and the ABS sensors where it's bagged. We're doing away with all the ABS that was here for the wheel tubs, and we're gonna connect them. It's kind of gonna run like old school brakes, similar to that. Anyways, that's what this leaking on the ground is. But we disattached that wire because we don't have ABS anymore. But I pull it off, and it's pretty rusty. This truck don't have a lot of miles, not as many as most, but it's hard to see that it is piss and grease out from around that seal. Pretty good. Yeah. So before we finish this video of taking this spindle off and installing a new 2-inch drop spindle, which will relocate this circular hole here up higher. It's pretty high actually, closer to the upper A-arm. We're gonna have to figure out an order, or go to the parts house and pick up another one of these, because I don't want to reuse this thing. It's toast. It's done. It'd be a waste of my time to put it back on the new drop spindle. So yeah, I'll probably video me removing. I got a ball joint separator to pop these off. Now we gotta get these old rusty pins out. We're gonna put new upper ball joints in. We gotta get these pesky pins out. I've already got the bottom one. I got it out. Just gotta get this one here. Sometimes they can be a pain, and if these don't work, a lot of times you can get vice grips, which is probably what I'm gonna do. But we gotta get this out. Then we'll take the castle nut off on the bottom and top, and we'll get this tool that I got here. Basically goes on here, and you get the idea. You open it up, it goes on the bottom, wedges in here, and the more you tighten this bolt right here, it separates it. It actually works pretty good. Okay, so let's get to it. Okay guys, we got it out of there. Don't try reusing these. I mean, most ball joint kits and heck, your local auto parts store, you can get these for, I mean, nothing, pocket change. So don't be cheap and try hammering this sucker back out. Just let it go and replace it with a new one. After loosening the castle nut, a lot of times there might be a little grime and grease, but most time you can just take it off right by hand. Okay, pretty much turn it, and as you can see, falls right off in your hand. Put that down here. Same goes for the bottom. You just turn it. Sometimes they get caught a little bit, and I always use adjustable. You can get a wrench. I mean, if you really spend all that money on them tools and you really want to use them, and you got one, but I didn't want to take the time to hunt down one in the toolbox when it's pretty easy to access with a big wrench, and you just got plenty of room to get after it. So we'll remove these, and then we'll use that fancy tool over in it. This is about as fancy as it gets for the bottom. I mean, I've already had this off when I installed the airbag, so the other side pretty much just come right off. So we'll see. Yep, as you can see, it moving, so it's already loose. I mean, you snug them down, but really, like, this top one's probably froze in. I could hit it all day with a hammer and just gonna wear myself out. So basically, I'm gonna use this here tool, and yeah, stick it right in there. Gotta remove this nut, bring it up a little higher, and yeah, it should just pop right out. Also, when you do that, oh, it's a mess here. Let me move this stuff. You're gonna want to put your jack somewhat underneath, because this sucker's just gonna drop. So you want to jack your jack up. You ain't gotta jack it up, put no pressure on it. Just jack it up like so, so that when you do separate this, it's gonna go give a little pow, and you don't want it to pow and just dump all your stuff on the ground and probably on your feet. Okay, let's loosen the thread a little bit and we'll put it on there. Okay, so I've used a wrench and tightened down the nut. Well, I mean, tightened down the nut here, and sounds like a gunshot, but it separates it pretty easy. And even though we're going to replace this, it really doesn't damage. I guess that's the idea on it. Than an old school tuning fork looking thing, you know, wham, and you hit it with a hammer and it boom, blows them apart. But anyways, it works pretty good. And yeah, as you can see, separate it pretty easy in a matter of seconds. So we'll probably remove this so we can go ahead and clean everything up. And yeah, we'll maybe go ahead and clean everything up, remove the upper ball joints, so when we get the new ones in, we can install them. Let's see, I'm thinking about going ahead and removing the bottom A-arms for now. If we're going to keep the stock A-arms till we can get the new tubular ones, I was thinking about doing what they call de-humping. We're kind of, my line's not very straight, but as you can see, you take that much out, it takes this big old hump where you can see where it's been contacting the frame. You don't want to cut a whole bunch more of this frame out, but yeah, we can cut this hump out on the back and do the same on the front where you can see these two holes. That's kind of a hump that you can see. They call it de-humping. I'll leave a picture of what de-humping looks like for everyone that don't know. Really just let your A-arm come up a little higher, especially installing drop spindles with air ride. If you want the front to kind of lay out and you really want the frame to lay all the way down the front, which it does in the back, yeah, that's what I want. So I'll probably take them off, take them to my mother-in-law's boyfriend's house, and maybe see if he let me sandblast them, cut them, de-hump them, and weld them in his shop. He's got a nice welder. We'll burn in some steel plates, which I got the steel, and that will de-hump the lower A-arms, which in turn will let it sit a little lower. Every inch counts when you want a truck to lay out. So yeah, that's it for this video. I mean, I would put the new spindle on. I know I should have videoed the other side, but this is video 1 of, I believe it'll just be 2, of putting these spindles on. I'll probably have the lower A-arms took off, go back to that side over there, and disassemble it, because we're going to put the ball joints in over there anyway, and go ahead and remove the lower ball joints when I switch this to and replace them, and I will be removing the lower A-arm and taking it into his shop, doing away with this. As you see, this is a stop, but yeah, we'll be flattening it out, putting the plates in, and they should look good. I could probably do a video on that, because I'll be waiting on the ball joints, and I'll be waiting on them to get done so I can put them back on. But while you got it apart, guys, I mean, it's good just to go ahead and just do this stuff. I mean, it sucks because you want to get it done so quick, and you want to get it on the road and going, and I know I do, but right now it's cold weather, so there ain't no reason to rush, because it ain't like I'm going to drive it anytime soon, so might as well go ahead and do it while I got it apart. That's part of building a truck. If you want it done right, you got to do it right the first time. Alright guys, well, so much for this video. Like, subscribe, heck, just subscribe and watch the videos. I appreciate it. If I'm helping anybody, that's great. If I'm not, and I think I'm doing everything wrong, that's fine. I mean, I'm no full-time mechanic. Basically just go out here in my garage and work on my own truck, because I've always liked trucks, and it's what I like to do. So, you know, I appreciate you for watching. See you guys on the next one, part 2.